What is going on, everybody? It is Aaron Cates and welcome back to the channel. Now today we're going to be fixing something that I created a couple videos ago when we were taking the plastic bed liner out, and I'm going to show you what that is. These little holes right here from when we took this plastic cap off where they have it screwed in at, there's little pushed in rivets that are pre-threaded for bolts to go into. We're going to be taking those out and filling this in with fiberglass to make it smooth. We're going to be doing it the same way we did the rocker panels, if you saw that video. If not, go check it out. We will be filling these in to where it's completely smooth, and I'm going to show you how. I'm going to do this side first, and then we'll jump in and do that side. Don't mind the respirator on my head. I just finished up the passenger side. I did that side first. I told you guys that. I just completely finished it up. The only thing it needs now is the filler primer and to be painted, but I want to do both sides at the same time. So now is when I come in and I show you what to do. As you have these metal rivets right here, and as you guys can see, the side is done and it is butter smooth. Turned out great. I just went over that with some 800 grit sandpaper so it's nice and smooth. Now we're going to come in and we're going to do this side. Okay, now to start out, you want to get a drill and a drill bit that is a little bit bigger than the hole of the rivet. And what you want to do is you just want to start drilling in, and then once you start getting a little bit of the ways in, you want to kind of work it around, because what you're going to do is you're going to thin out that metal that is holding it in. And how a rivet works, you have a tool that you drill a hole with a drill bit, and then you take this tool with a rivet on it, and as you clamp it down, it expands the back side of the rivet and holds it on the inside so it doesn't move. Well, now since it's expanded on the inside, you can't necessarily pull it back out without making this hole bigger, and we don't want to do that. So what I'm going to do is thin out the edges. The back side will break off. It's going to fall down inside the tailgate. If that's something that bothers you, try and find another way to try to take the tailgate apart and get the pieces out. I'm just letting the back side of that rivet fall down in there. Don't really care about it. I just want these holes gone so everything is smooth and flush. So we're gonna go in and try and thin out the insides of this rivet head and get it pulled out, and then we'll repeat the same process on this other one over here. Okay, once you have these pulled off, you want to get your sander. Whether it's a DA sander like this or you're using a sanding block like this, you either want 40 or 80 grit sandpaper. I'm using 40 because it gets through it a lot faster, but you can get away with 80. But I wouldn't suggest going a higher grit than that, because you want to get this down to bare metal so the fiberglass sticks well and then your body filler sticks. Okay, now once you have sanded all the way down to the metal with the 80 grit or 40 grit, whatever you used, if you noticed I did a bigger diameter around it, that's because you want to try and blend this hump in, because you're going to be adding material to this. So if you don't kind of spread it out, it's just going to look like one big bump. So you want to put a longer surface area so it doesn't just look like one bump right there. It can kind of blend in. Once you have this done, I've got these lines right here from where the plastic piece was. I'm taking 800 grit. I'm just going to try and smooth them down so when I filler primer this and I paint this, there's not just rough spots in the paint. It's all nice and smooth. Those lines go up over top here. If there's any scratch marks up here from where that cap used to rub back and forth, you can go over that. I'm sure you guys can probably see, well, I don't know if you guys can see on camera, but there's scratch marks all up top here and they're rough. There's this solid line here where that used to be. And I want to go through and try and smooth that out. So I've got 800 grit on the DA. I want to go through and try and smooth that out some. Okay, now after you have completely sanded it, you want to get some type of microfiber to wipe it clean. And microfiber and some denatured alcohol, and just pour that on there. Wipe it all off so there's no dust or anything on there. Also, when you're wiping it down, you'll be able to feel if there's any rough spots or anything like that that you can go back over and sand. Okay, once it's all wiped down, you want to get your self-adhesive patch, and you want to try and see how much you're going to need and cut a shape relative to that. And hold it up to it, trim off what extra you have. Just like that, we are stuck on. You want to repeat the same process on the other side, and then we'll get the fiberglass ready. Get some cardboard. Bondo recommends you don't use cardboard, but I've used it every time and haven't had a problem with it. You want to get something to scrape the fiberglass out onto the cardboard. Now you want to get your hardener. Try and knead it a little bit. I just try and put a line across the glob. Now we'll get to mixing this. Now to mix it, you just want to try and get it all one color. It's going to come out to be like a baby poop color, as gross as that sounds. It's the best way I can describe it. And I suggest using a bigger piece of cardboard than I'm using. Once you get it to where there's no definite red lines from the hardener, and try and get a pretty decent sized glob, like so. Just trying to press it into where you put that adhesive patch. And now we wait about 15 to 20 minutes for this to dry, and then we can start sanding it. After it has dried, you want to come in back with your 40 or 80 grit, whatever you used the first time, and you want to sand this down smooth. Now don't take too much off, just gradually as you take some off, go back over and feel for it. I suggest you practice on one side and then do the other side, because once you get a hang for it, you'll kind of know what to do on the next go around. So I highly suggest practice first and then jump in and try and do all of it. Sand this down, and once it's nice and smooth, we'll go to body filler. After you sanded with your 40 or 80 grit, you want to come back through and take your high grit sandpaper, whether you're using 800, 600, 1000, whatever you're using, go back over it so it's nice and smooth. Okay, and now just like earlier, before we did our fiberglass, you want to come in with some denatured alcohol, and you want to wipe down everything you just sanded. And I'm not going to bore you with how to mix the body filler. If you mix the fiberglass, it mixes the same exact way. Do the same glob on the cardboard, and then your little strip of hardener. It is the same exact process as the Bondo glass, just with body filler. Alright everybody, and everything is ready to be painted now. I've got it all wiped down. I'm actually going to go around and tape off what I don't want to be painted. I'm going to do that off camera, but I'll show you everywhere I tape. I'm sure you noticed I sanded down the old adhesive where the old tailgate handle cover went. It's because I want it nice and smooth. There's going to be painting there, and then when I put it on, I want a nice smooth surface for it to stick to. And everything is sanded down. It's sanded with 180. I don't want to touch anything right now because I just wiped it down with alcohol. So once that's all taped off, I'm going to spray the filler primer. It's a sandable filler primer. I'm going to spray 3 coats of it. I'll throw up a time lapse of that. Let's get started. Alright everybody, once you have sprayed your primer, you want to wait about 30 minutes before you sand it smooth. You want to, once it's dry, you want to sand it with 800 or 1000, but wait 30 minutes minimum before sanding it, or else you're going to mess it up and you'll have to start over. It's not going to look perfect. This doesn't look perfect, but this is just to try and put some type of primer base down for that paint to stick to.
Brother, sister, can you hear that? Our heartbeat cutting through the ether.
Alright everybody, and just like that, the tailgate is completely sprayed down. And honestly, it looks so much better. I don't think you'd ever even be able to know that there's holes there. I mean, you'd never even know. I must say I'm very happy with the way it turned out. By the time you guys are watching this video, this truck will already be wrapped. So stay tuned for it. Thank you guys so much for watching the video. Hopefully, if you did this to your truck, it turned out fantastic the way you wanted it. This is kind of almost like shaving a tailgate, except for we're not shaving the handle, we're shaving the holes. So thank you all for watching. Remember, if you're not already, go down, hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, drop a comment what y'all would want to see, and stay tuned because, like I said, the truck's already wrapped by the time you're watching this. Alright, I'll catch y'all later. See ya.
All the faces in this ocean come together, making memories in motion.